In the late of 1500, two Dutch opticians, Hans and Zacharias Janssen, created the first microscope by combining lenses inside a tube. This device, though primitive, allowed them to see smaller objects than the naked eye could. And in 1609, Galileo Galilei improved this design and used the microscope to study insects and other smaller organisms. Then, in 1665, an English scientist known as Robert Hooke made an important discovery. Using an improved microscope, he observed a piece of cork and discovered it was made of tiny cavities, which he called cells. This finding revolutionized biology and our understanding of life. Later, in the 1670s, Dutch scientist Anton van Leeuwenhoek perfected the microscope, creating one that could magnify much more, and with it, he was the first to observe and describe bacteria, sperm, and other microorganisms. Then, in the 19th century, Joseph Jackson Lister improved lens quality, eliminating color distortions and making images clearer and more precise. These advances helped scientists study the microscopic world in greater detail. And from invention to the modern era, the microscope has been an essential tool for understanding the invisible world, leading to crucial advances in many areas of science. In the 1665, Robert Hooke looked at a piece of cork under a microscope and discovered tiny, box-like structures, which he called cells. Later, in 1830, Matthias Schelling realized that the plants are made of cells, and Theodor Schwann found that all animals are made of cells as well. They both concluded that the cells are the basic unit of life in living organisms. And in the 1850s, Rudolf Virchow made another key discovery. Cells come from pre-existing cells, meaning that the cells don't just appear out of nowhere. And together, these discoveries form the cell theory, which states that all living things or organisms are made up of cells, that the cell is the basic unit of life, and all cells come from pre-existing cells. So, this theory became the foundation for much of modern biology.
Well, I'm going to talk about the cell, the animal cell, and the cell organelles. Well, first, the cell has a nucleus that acts as the control center of the cell. Then it contains the DNA, and it regulates cellular activities by directing processes like DNA replication and RNA transcription. Next, the cell contains an organelle called mitochondria that it produces ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, through cellular respiration, providing energy for various cellular functions. Next, we have the endoplasmic reticulum that is classified into two types. The first one is the raw ER, and the second one is the smooth ER. The first one aids in protein synthesis, and the second one is involved in lipid production and detoxification. The next organelle is the Golgi apparatus that processes, modifies, and packages proteins and lipids for transport to the other parts of the cell, or secretion outside the cell. To finish the common organelles, we have the lysosomes that contain digestive enzymes that break down waste, cellular debris, and foreign particles, playing a key role in maintaining cellular health. Next, we have the organelles unique in the plant cells that are chloroplasts, cell wall, and the central vacuole. First one, the chloroplasts enable plants to perform photosynthesis, converting sunlight into chemical energy stored in glucose molecules. Next, we have the cell wall, composed mainly of cellulose, provides structural support, protection, and shape to plant cells. And to finish, we have the central vacuole, that is a large fluid-filled organelle. The central vacuole stores water, nutrients, and waste. It also helps maintain turgor pressure, keeping the plant rigid and upright.
All bodily functions rely on a coordinating system, which are the levels of cellular organization. The levels of cellular organization are basically the order in which life is created. The levels that make up life start with the atoms. A group or a set of atoms are what create the molecules, and the molecules form organelles that then will build the parts of a cell. A cell is the fundamental unit of life, and a group of cells is what then creates the tissue. The cell is basically what we as humans and also animals